Walk through London and you're reading a map written in blood, trade and superstition, if you know how to look. Every odd little street name is a clue left behind by the people who lived and died here. They sound like nonsense today, but each one holds a story the city has half forgotten. So let's follow the names and let London tell you what it used to be. Start with Poultry, a short street near the Bank of England. There's no mystery to sniff out here, only the smell of the medieval market that once filled it. This was where the poulterers sold their birds, live and squawking, century after century, until the trade faded, and only the name was left clucking behind. Not far away runs Pudding Lane, and that name hides something far less appetizing than it sounds. Pudding was an old word for the guts and offal of animals, the mess left by the butchers of Eastcheap. It was carted down this lane to be tipped into the river, and it was here, in a baker's shop on Pudding Lane, that the Great Fire of London began in 1666 and swallowed the city whole. Then there is Houndsditch, and you can almost smell this one too. Just outside the old city wall ran a defensive ditch, and over the years it became exactly what a ditch on the edge of a medieval city becomes: a dumping ground. The story goes that Londoners threw their dead dogs into it, and the name has clung on ever since, long after the ditch was filled and forgotten. Some names are grislier still. Bleeding Heart Yard is a quiet courtyard with a horrible legend attached. They say a lady was found here one morning, murdered, her heart torn from her body, yet somehow still beating on the cobbles. The truth is probably tamer, an old inn sign showing the pierced heart of the Virgin Mary. But London has always preferred the darker version. Cock Lane has two shadows over it. In the Middle Ages, it was one of the few places where the city licensed the oldest trade, and its name was a blunt joke that stuck. Centuries later, it became famous for the Cock Lane ghost, a scratching, knocking spirit that drew huge crowds in 1762 until the whole thing was exposed as a hoax. Near St. Paul's, the names turned to prayer. Paternoster Row, Ave Maria Lane and Amen Corner traced the route of the medieval clergy as they processed around the cathedral, reciting the Lord's Prayer. They began with the Latin words, "For our Father," and by the time they reached the corner, they had reached the Amen. Grub Street was where the words came cheaper. This was the home of the hungry hack writers, the pamphleteers and poets, scratching out a living in cramped garrets, mocked by better-fed men. The street itself is gone, renamed and rebuilt, but the insult survives. To this day, cheap and grubby writing is still called Grub Street. Old Jewry remembers a community that London tried to erase. This was the heart of the medieval Jewish quarter until the Jews were expelled from England in 1290. They were gone for centuries, but the street kept their name, a quiet marker of people the city had driven out. Knight Rider Street sounds like invention, but it may be the most romantic of them all. This is thought to be the road along which armoured knights once rode from the Tower toward the tournament grounds at Smithfield, lances up on their way to fight for sport and glory. Petticoat Lane still holds its market, though you won't find it under that name on the map. The Victorians thought Petticoat too vulgar for a street sign and primly renamed it Middlesex Street. Londoners ignored them completely, and the old name lives on in the famous Sunday market. And then there is Turnergarn Lane, perhaps the most honest name in the city. It was a dead end, running down to the old Fleet River with no way across. Whoever walked down it had only one choice when they reached the bottom: to turn again and walk back the way they came. These are only a handful. There are hundreds more out there, each a tiny door into the city's past. So next time you pass a strange name on a London corner, stop and read it. It is trying to tell you something.